Sup, what is going on, my party people? So I'm gonna make a quick video about that poll I put up the other day, and the option that won was why I prefer the GI style AR-15 setup the best out of all the other options that are out there. So let's hop right into it. This is my AR-15, one of them. Open, show, clear, quick, bang, boom, right? Anyway, I think with this rifle, we need to come back to basics a little bit. There's a lot of options out there. I get it, a lot of choices. This is more geared towards the newer gun owner, and why I think it's important. Maybe it helps you all out a little bit, the newer guys. You see basically here, this is pretty similar to what you guys might have had or might see in someone fresh out of OSA or something, if you were in the Army or the Marine Corps or whatever. Something similar to this. It's got your 4-position stock. The one I had in the Army was always a 4-position. Never had that 6-position shit. Because 4 is really all you need. All the way closed, get your first position out, and then a couple more. All this fancy 6-position stuff is, I believe, more convoluted than it needs to be. I like this pistol grip. This notch here, everybody wants to hate so much. It's actually there for a reason. It's a little uncomfortable if you don't grab it properly, and that's true. But when you have this thing properly gripped, it's actually pretty nice to have. It helps keep it, you know, if you're one-handing it, to support it a little bit easier. So this grip, I don't think needs to be changed. If anything, it may be a little thinner, but not too bad. The selectors in the, if you're a left or right-handed person, it's pretty easy to actuate as it sits. You know, I'm right-handed, so I can flip it pretty easy on my thumb. But if you are one of the wrong-handed people out there, it's not too bad to actuate with your index finger. It can be done. It's a little uncomfortable, but it can be done. I know the M4 I had in the Army when I was in basic was ambidextrous. It was an FN M4, no less. But the selector switch is not that big a deal. The bolt catch being on this side, I think it's good if you're left or right. Mag in, you can hit with your thumb, or if you're, once again, wrong-handed, you can still hit it with your index finger pretty easy. All this ambidextrous stuff, I don't think it's a gimmick. I just don't think it's really that important, because you can run this gun fine, left or right-handed. And many people have, and many people will continue to do so. I like the broomstick grip, the old beer can. This grip is very flexible. You can slide it wherever you want, of course. I prefer it to be a little bit more in the middle, kind of like this, because you can still do your C-clamp grip like this. You can use it as a hand stop this way still. You can use it as a, you know, compliance feature if need be. And the way I have my light set up, it's right next to the thumb. So you can actuate it as so, or if you're left-handed, wrong-handed, you can still hit it with your thumb. Something similar to that. The rail. I like the quad rail. Those super thin grips, they have their place. They're more comfortable than this in a lot of ways. But all this key modded M-lock, all the extra parts you have to buy to use your M-lock, your key mod, you have to get little rail segments and different wrenches and all that. With this simple option, this 1913 rail, I can screw things on anywhere and everywhere I want, sometimes without even a tool, finger tight. You know, this screw has been tight and hasn't come undone. I did it with put it on using a nut driver, tightened it up, and it hasn't come loose. Obviously, Loctite helps, but in that regard. The sliding system, we're getting into that later, because this has a flat top of flip-ups. I have a regular 16-inch 1-7 twist barrel on this Colt M4 type gun. The birdcage flash hider has been doing its job since 1982, I believe. There's really no reason to change this unless you're going to go into suppressed, which I don't plan on doing. So there's that. This setup, something like this, a regular basic bitch M4 style setup, is everything you need realistically. You have all these free float this and this, that, and the third. Oh, it makes my rifle so much more accurate. Does it? Think about this. A lot of you guys have this for self-defense, home defense, SHTF, whatever. Is half an MOA really going to matter that much, realistically? I mean, sure, it can when you're bench shooting and all that, but what you guys really want these things for, is it really going to matter that much? Are you going to dump all this extra money into free float this and M-lock that and all these proprietary, or not proprietary, but expensive gimmicks when they don't enhance your performance realistically that much. This is my favorite AR-15 setup right here. I'm about to show y'all. This is an old A2 style, well, detachable carrying handle, but H-bar style setup. Alright, something like this is my favorite setup. Oh, but that's old and front heavy and all this stuff. It is. I remember it was like maybe a year or two ago. Everyone was pissing themselves over, oh, my recce, my recce, my recce. You all had 18 to 20 inch barrels with your little circular handguards, right? Something like this. A little thinner, but still gets the point done. C grip, all this, that, and a third. You can do all that with an old school A2 handguard. Charging handle, pretty much the same. I just switched this out with an extra BCM when I had laying around. Because this does help the purchase a little bit easier to operate the handle if you had to. Here's the thing why the GI setup is also a little bit easier to find parts with too. Everything is based on the mil spec. At least the good stuff is. I bought this thinking way back when that the heavy barrel makes a big bunch of difference. Accuracy wise, it don't. When it heats up, a little bit, enough difference to matter? Not really. If you're getting into a prolonged engagement, you need a squad support style weapon. Something like this is doing you a disservice. So, me and my infinite wisdom, I bought a CAC quad rail. It doesn't fit this because this rail, or that rail, is made to the mil spec. This barrel is not made to the mil spec, so the rail don't fit. So I have to sit there with a Dremel and hack and grind like on an AK to get this shit to fit. When I could have just got a regular barrel and been fine. The reason I want to talk about sights last is because you see how high this carrying handle is in this triangle front sight? It's all well and good, right? If I want to put a red dot on this, I could mount it to the flat top. That's cool. I could also mount it to the top of the carrying handle via that hole right there, put a rail in there, put the red dot on top of that, right? Now some people would say, oh no, that's too high, you can't do that. Meanwhile, they have that new mount by I forget who it's called that has the red dot puts the dot all the way up here. Oh yeah, but you can just bring it straight to your eye, it's right there. It puts it right where it would be height wise if I just put it on top of the carrying handle like they did back in the 90s. So something like this is why I think we need to come back to basics. A lot of people that have these rifles are being preyed upon by the firearms industry, are being played for suckers, because everything you needed, you already had in a lot of ways. Right here, bare bones, stock is probably 70% of the way there. Because something like this is pretty much a carbon copy of what I had in the Army. And something like this will get anybody just as far as most guys would with their free float this and M-lock that and a third. I just think we gotta come back to basics. So anyway, I wasted 8 minutes of your time. Go forth, do great things, stay out of trouble. Deuces.